Hello and welcome to the Reetin Entertainment Podcast, episode 464 for, November 10th, 2024. My name is Nathan Reetin Spruth, and I forgot to do a fade out on that. So it just cut off.
It is.
Joining me this week, we have Andrew Roa McFain.
It's AI just continually pushes the boundaries of how corny it can make anything.
It does. At least the music part of the last two have been pretty good. Like the instruments, not necessarily the lyrics.
Yeah. Good. Yeah.
Better than what they have been in the past. I also did a K-pop version of that, and it was awful. So we'll figure it out. We'll figure out how to make AI good at some point, but today's not that day apparently. And yeah, so where can we find you, Aroa?
Go to Road that website, and there's links there and stuff, and Connor's stuff is there. It's pretty good.
Yep, people genuinely like it, I guess.
Yep.
I don't know.
Yeah.
And of course, you know me, Nathan Reetin Spruth. I'm Reetin everywhere, mainly on Twitch, twitch.tv/Reetin, 6 p.m. Pacific time to 9 p.m. Pacific time, Monday through Friday, playing games. Speaking of games, what games have you played this week?
I played a couple of demos, as well as an idle game.
Oh,
The demos, one of them, I don't even remember the name of it because it wasn't good. But there was one that, of course, I fucking deleted it, and I forgot that. I forgot that stupid Steam removes it from your library whenever you do that. Craft.
Craft.
Yeah.
Craft.
So Craft is one of those like merchant simulator sort of games where, like, instead of being a main character, you're running a shop,
Yeah.
kind of thing, in a fantasy world. But unlike most of those where it's kind of like the crafting in most games, if it has crafting, where it's just kind of like you click on the things and you combine them together and they become the thing. It's a lot more in depth, and you can put like personal flair kind of on things. It's like actually doing arts and crafts in the game in some ways. Like there is blacksmithing, which is less interesting, honestly. But the cool thing was, like, in the demo, there's a character that comes in and wants a handmade tiara, and they're like, I specifically want it to be made out of just random junk, and like, okay, and so you literally you grab a bunch of sticks and garbage out of the alley behind your shop, and then you go back in and you have like a little vial of glue, and you just glue a bunch of sticks and garbage together to make a little tiara.
Aw.
And it's like, I'm very interested to see where all it goes with that, because I don't know. It's like a lot of times those games, they focus a lot on like the economy part of things, or on like just essentially being the same sort of thing as an idle game where it's all about making number go up. But this actually focuses on the creativity of being an artisan, and I think that's really neat.
Oh, that's fun.
So
Is it
I
like
hope I hope
I
that
assume it's an overhead, like a isometric game?
it actually is more like it's like a point and click adventure kind of interface. Like, you don't it like there are three screens. One of them is the talking to the customer screen that looks like a visual novel. Then you have the workbench, which is just like a top down view of a table. And then the last screen is is the smithing screen. And then there was like the one off thing where you just had a picture of a back alley with a bunch of random junk strewn about it, and you like clicked on the junk to collect it. So like it's not there's no like actual moving around or anything. It's all just UI. But
Oh, okay.
it's really cute and it's fully voice acted, which I was surprised by. Um and yeah, I just liked that. I liked it a
Fun.
lot.
Fun. Did you play anything else that's notable? Little.
Uh the other main thing that's been taking most of my brain has been Widget Inc. Which is I call it an idle game, but it's kind of like a weird cross between an idle game and I don't even know what it's called, like a factory simulation. Um,
It's like a procedure game, or I forget what it's
it's
called.
but
But yeah.
it's kind of like a really really basic Factorio sort of thing where stuff all feeds into each other so
Mm-hmm.
that you can make stuff and you're building up to one big project at the end. And I've been playing that a lot.
Is that another
That's
demo, or is it a fully released
no, that
game?
is that. Well, it was. I played the demo, and then I was like, "Oh, it comes out in like 2 days." So then I bought it a couple days later, and I finished it once. But with it being one of those games and it being an incremental game, you can start over and have a buff from the beginning of the game. So I've done that, and I'm almost done with my second playthrough.
Oh, good. Well, I'm happy that you're enjoying it. I, however, so on Monday I was going to play Hades 2, but then Durga messaged me. Durga normally plays like Dungeons and Dragons on Mondays, so I wasn't even thinking about playing any multiplayer games. But he's like, "Oh, we're not starting until like 9." And I'm like, "That's really late. It's really late to start a Dungeons and Dragons thing." But whatever. So he wanted to play Black Ops, so we ended up playing Black Ops on Monday and Friday. Um, and it's I mean it's included with Game Pass, so I wouldn't have paid for it, but what I've been playing of it, I've been having fun, and not being ragey is nice. While like 10 years ago, 15 years ago, playing games online and you're like getting mad and stuff, and now I'm old and I'm just like, okay, I died. I'm just bad at games, so
Whatever.
whatever. My life sucks.
Fucking kids.
Yeah, fucking kids and aimbots, all of them.
You don't know what it's like to have a mortgage.
No, no, they do not. And they never will. They never will.
No, no, they never will.
I mean, I barely do right now, and like
Yeah.
I've looked at it, and there's no way I can afford a house right now. No, like like if I tried to move out right now, it would be bad. I wouldn't be able to find anywhere. It sucks. And then on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, I started playing a new game by Atlas called Metaphor ReFantasio. I believe it's how it's said. And have you looked in this game? Have you seen it at all?
I have seen it.
Do you know what it
It
is?
intrigued me. I mean, it's an Atlas RPG, but like the big gimmick that was appealing to me was that it has both real time and turn based combat. Where if
Somewhat,
you
but yes.
I mean, it's really just that like if you're strong enough, you can kill something without actually entering turn-based combat with it.
Yeah, I was gonna mention that is something that you would like. It's Persona. That's all it is.
Yeah.
I don't think that you get you don't get the mixing of the personas like you do in the Persona games, where you can fuse them together and make something different. But yeah, like each of your characters has the ability to, like they unlock different. I forget what they're called, but they're basically personas, and you can assign those personas to each character. So like say you unlock, Persona A and I unlock Persona B, we could both have Persona A or B equipped to us at the same time, or separately have A and B equipped.
So they're just weapons.
Somewhat yes, but they have like, one persona is good for healing, so you have that equipped so that you have a healer in the party, and then you have another persona that's good at like sword.
So They're the genies from Golden Sun.
I would say yes, probably, but also kind of like Guardian Forces from Final Fantasy VIII, which I'm sure you're familiar with.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
With all of my hours spent in Final Fantasy number.
yeah, Final Fantasy VIII. It's more,
Yeah.
it's similar to that, except for you can equip the same persona on multiple people at the same time. But it's that. With that being said, I love the art style in the game. Looks great, and there's also like you get weapons, and I've gotten quite a few weapons that say can be upgraded at a church. But because you are what's called an Elda in the game, which is a specific race, um, people are racist towards you. Like,
That's
like,
neat.
like you walk up to people and they're like, "Oh, fucking Elda, what, what are you doing here?" And so even when you go to the church, so I got these weapons that said can be upgraded at a church, and I was like, I wonder, that sounds awesome. I wonder what the heck that could do that I could do there. And so I go there, and they're like, "All right, yeah, you can upgrade your weapons even as an Elda, but because you are an Elda, you have to get your wisdom up to level 3. So get the fuck out of here."
Get out of
Basically.
here, Enwa.
Basically. And so there's that. And then there was also one other scene that I wanted to bring up before we go, is that you go into a
We
cave.
leave. We're done.
No. Yeah, we're done. Before we leave, before we're done, 15-minute podcast. That's what we got here. No. Before we stop talking about this particular game, there you're going through a dungeon, and there's a dragon in the dungeon, and obviously you're like an hour and a half, 2 hours into the game. They're not gonna want you to. You're not gonna be able to beat this fully. This dragon. And so they're like, this is how. Okay, so you see this dragon. You need to sneak around. You can't fight this dragon. Apparently, you can. You can fight the dragon. Because they made it seem like you could sneak around the dragon if you're like cautious enough and steal the treasure that's behind the dragon. And no, you get like halfway up the ramp, and it's like dragon awakens, and you have to have a fight with him. And I barely won. I did not kill the dragon. What you do is you weaken it to a point, and then it flies away. And then I got all the treasure behind it. But also they just expect quite a few people to just walk around the dragon and not try to get the treasure chest. But being a video game player, there's a treasure chest.
Being a gamer,
You see a treasure chest and you go grab it. Which that reminds me, one time when Star Wars: The Old Republic first came out, oftentimes in that game they will put like a treasure chest behind an enemy, and so I would go and I'm facing this enemy, and some other player just ran up and grabbed the treasure chest while I was fighting the enemy in front of it. And I was like, what the fuck, man? And he's like, you mad, bro? And I was like, yes I am.
what's the matter? What are you so upset about?
I just stole the chest that you were working on. Douchebag. But those
yourself.
Yeah, those were the only games I played this week. And they were both pretty good. I had a fun time with them. And yeah, I think you would like ReFantazio, at least for the action part. Because it doesn't actually take that long for you to outlevel the creatures in that area, and start being able to just use the action combat to take them out and get the experience points.
Was actually a game I was reading about that I want to say was on like it was like on older consoles that very much did the same thing, but it had more of like tactical combat.
I know that Earthbound did it, but it's probably a different game that you're thinking of.
Oh no, this is this is more like actually what Metaphor does, where like you can attack and stuff out in the open world.
Yeah.
And if you beat the shit out of the thing enough before engaging in actual combat, but then instead of it being like traditional menu driven turn based combat, it's more like Valkyrie Chronicles,
Yeah,
where
think of that, or like Final Fantasy Tactics or something like that.
well, it's not like a grid-based SRPG. It's where you have like a ring that you can move within and use AP to move around within that ring,
Ah,
and like I don't know. I like that. I like that kind of tactics. I
yeah,
don't
that's
typically like SRPGs, but
yeah, and
I don't know. Or
you're not a.
turn-based RPGs.
I was gonna say you're not a fan of turn-based RPG, so that part of the game you might not have fun with, but I do, and the art style is amazing in that game. Love it. Anywho,
Yeah, I mean it's like every other Atlas game
so
in
good.
that I love everything about it except I just don't want to fucking play it.
Then just play the Persona 4 Arena game, the fighting game. The right? You like the
No.
oh, you okay. Fine then. Fine. We're going to move on and we're going to talk about some news stories because we weren't here last week, were we? I don't think we were.
No.
Um so we have
Doing something.
yeah, we were doing something. A couple weeks of stories that have come up here. And the first one is I think it's Fantastic, which is
Yeah.
the game company that made The Day Before, which notably we did talk about in the podcast, and it died within a couple of weeks. It was released. It had a brilliant trailer that was all made up. It's all fake. Had a bunch of hype. Came out a couple years later, and was god awful. Had nothing, absolutely nothing in the trailer was in the game. So they discontinued The Day Before, and now they are making a new game. And this is from Massively. It says, remember the last month when developer Fantastic said it wouldn't use volunteer labor to build its upcoming prop hunting rehash game items? Wait, prop hunting.
The game is called Items.
Oh, okay. The game is called Items.
It is a rehash of Prop Hunt, which
Okay,
comes after they canceled the game that they were making after The Day Before was canceled.
I see.
Um,
They are now.
and then
Yeah.
and they also had originally made, and I didn't realize this, they made Prop Night. I don't know if you remember that game.
Vaguely remember it.
Uh, there was like a weird length of time where there were a handful of games coming to Steam that were literally just the prop hunt mode from Gary's Mod
Yeah.
turned into their own game. One of them was basically Dead by Daylight, but it was prop hunt. Um, this was Prop Night, and it was substantially more bare bones and was just a bunch of like Unity assets. Go figure.
So they're now promoting a map making contest. Not using volunteer labor. They have a contest going on where they are doing map making. It kind of reminds me of when Twitter changed its name from Twitter to X, which we will never be calling it, by the way. And Elon Musk was like, "I'll pay like $5,000 if somebody makes like a like a logo for this." It's like, dude, you're a multi-billionaire. You can afford more than a couple $1,000s for a logo.
At least he offered to pay him.
That's true. Players are being encouraged to design a map for the game in any style they wish, whether it's a 2D drawing, a 3D render, or any other style entrants choose. What type of drawing would you do that's not 2D or 3D?
You know,
A 1D render?
you make it out of indeterminate four-dimensional concepts.
I see. Submissions
You just describe it in very great detail.
Submissions must also provide images or artwork for the map, a description, the map's general theme, and balance considerations. Once entries close on November 28th, Discord fans will vote, and the winner will see their map fully added to the game, as well as a name, credit, and a free copy of the game items for Steam. There'll be no monetary reward, which has been confirmed by a studio spokesperson on The Gamer. What's happening here? What? Sorry, I clicked a button on accident. Um, there we go. I accidentally clicked on the 3 of the currently 6 entries to the contest button, which leads to Discord.
Oh,
Anyway, they've admitted to using AI art generators in order to create their entries, while members of the game's own community Discord are decrying the contest masquerade as free labor workaround, which it is. That's all it is. Like they're offering no monetary reward. They get a credit in the game, and then a free copy of this game that's going to be like $5 anyway, and
and
probably die immediately.
and like, yeah, that last bit is kind of the important thing,
Yeah.
because like this person in the comments says, where that contests are usually just free labor for a company.
Yeah.
This is nothing new, and that is true.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't matter how big the company is. Most of the time, if they're doing like a contest for like make this item or whatever, it's you're not only doing free labor for them, but you're giving them free marketing. But the difference there is that most of the time, whenever it's a bigger game, uh, the people doing it are doing it because they're passionate about the work in question. They really like the game or the cartoon or whatever. Uh, Meanwhile, this this dev studio has nothing but ill will
Yeah.
from everyone, and no one's even seen this game in action because it probably doesn't even exist in any capacity yet. That's probably why they're begging people to make a map for them for free. So to do this sort of thing as a way of promoting your game is just blatant bad faith.
Yeah.
And that's just it's short-sighted and stupid.
Well, the way that
Stupid.
they made the day before, which was awful. They made it using free labor. They had volunteers working on the game and writing code and creating maps and all that jazz.
Right.
Which is why they have ill will, and now they are doing that again, which apparently I don't think is going to work out well for them. I think that this
Except
game is also going to bomb.
they're not only doing it again, but they're doing it again and pretending that they're not. Like
Yeah.
they're being like, well, it's a contest. See, it's different.
It's
Different. You know,
Yeah, this is all dumb, and don't
it's
buy
not
this game.
slave labor. We're giving them food.
Oh no, not even now. They're not giving them food.
Well, you know what I'm saying.
I do, but yeah, this company is fantastic. The game is named Items. When whenever it comes out for 3 days,
Name.
it's a terrible name. Don't buy it. Don't buy this game. Don't look at it. Don't enter this
I
contest.
just noticed the
Don't
tags. The tags say sus as heck. This is sus as hell. This is why we can't have nice things.
Valve.
And then Valve for some reason. All right.
Yeah, it's because it's in alphabetical order. So Valve is listed because it's on Steam. Yep. Anyway, the next game that we have to talk about, which is another fucking scam. It's by Ubisoft. It's a big game company this time. And they just released a new blockchain RPG where you can
What?
with playable NFTs priced at up to $63,000.
What?
Yep, NFTs are still a thing, apparently. In a move that seems...
I don't think they are.
They are not.
Ubisoft's a little behind the times.
This is from Tom's Hardware. In a move that seemed to reflect an ever greedier gaming industry insistent on selling us things no one asked for, Ubisoft finally stealth launched its first ever player versus player blockchain RPG title, Champions Tactics: Grimoria Chronicles, complete with playable characters as NFTs, purchasable through in-game currency or cryptocurrency. Was notable about the pricing scheme. The most expensive character at launch is the Inquisitor Swift Zealot, which will be $63,372.19, converted from crypto. Other champions, there are 2,732 champions. They're available with just one other costing tens of $1,000s for $25,000, and that's the Glowing Beast. And the rest are about $5,000 or less. Even 5,000. I mean, I'm not paying $5,000 for a video game.
There's a mouse cursor in the trailer.
Well, yeah. This is worse. I mean, this is really bad. I was going to say it's worse than Star Citizen, but not necessarily, because I think some of their ships are tens of thousands of dollars as well. But this is really bad. Like, I haven't even looked at the game, but are you watching the game now?
I was watching the trailer. It's the promotional trailer has a mouse cursor in it.
Yeah, and
where they were just screen recording gameplay and they just forgot to turn off the mouse cursor.
And for me, it looks like there's just two inanimate, like when
very bare bones looking.
It's terrible. When I'm thinking of Warhammer, those little figurines you get from Warhammer, right?
Yeah.
And then it's just those things slashing at each other. It reminds me kind of what was it? Was it NES? The chess game where you fight?
Oh yeah.
Whatever it's called.
So like it kind of invokes like Warhammer / Darkest Dungeon.
Yeah.
The way that combat's done there in Darkest Dungeon, where there are no like extraneous frames beside just the base animation that you need to understand what's going on. I think that's a perfectly fine style. Like, this wouldn't even really, like, it doesn't look good.
No.
But it has like a semblance of personality once it gets to the figurines fighting each other. The problem is before that, it looks like every other video game trailer ever made. And then at the end of the day, like it's just a shitty little fucking collectible card game, but it's NFTs now. And they gave such little of a shit that they didn't even hide the mouse cursor in the fucking trailer.
This is really bad.
Yeah.
And I believe like in like OBS or whatever, right? Isn't there a button you can press that hides the mouse cursor?
So it's the in-game cursor.
Oh, I see. Okay, that makes sense.
That makes it even worse because it means that the developers didn't even like put a debug toggle in there so that whenever they're recording the trailer, the cursor doesn't fucking get captured.
Yeah, it's don't play this game. Don't
like,
play it.
Kind of people in the comments for the video mentioned this, and I think I agree. It kind of looks like what they did was they recorded the gameplay. And then they were like, this does not look very good in the trailer. Can we like crop it down just like a lot so it only looks like the figurines fighting each other without all of the other UI elements? And they just did that in Premiere, and that was it. They were done.
Yeah.
Instead of re-recording the footage with like the UI turned off.
This is so it's so lazy, and I like Ubisoft for the most part. Like we don't want them to die,
no,
or be bought out like we were talking about before. How there's a company that's like slowly trying to buy them out. Was it Vivendi?
It used to be, at least. Yeah. I don't know if that's still the case, but yeah, Vivendi was trying really hard to buy them a while back.
They were trying to do the hostile takeover, and we don't want them to die because they have Ubisoft has some good games, but this is not one of them. Do not give your money to champions, whatever, blah, 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 blah. If you have $63,000, Aroa will design you an NFT for $63,000. He'll do it. Yeah, don't play this game. It's awful. It's terrible. We're gonna move on. We're gonna talk about Sega making us all sad by delisting 60 classic games from Steam for the Sega Genesis and Dreamcast. Sucks. I know you're a huge fan of the Sonic games, right? Sonic.
Yeah, I mean, Sonic specifically.
Adventure.
Definitely.
Adventure is what I'm thinking about, right? Sonic Adventure
yeah.
and Adventure 2. I don't think those are getting
I'm just
removed.
a big Sega fanboy in general, honestly.
Yeah. And this has got to be like they're pulling the games from Steam. So it's got to be like they have another way that they're trying to sell these games. Because there's no reason for them to pull them from Steam unless they had another way that they're trying to sell you these games that will make them more money. That makes sense?
Yeah. I am not sure what else they could possibly be doing.
Yeah, I don't know. It says here, those who have purchased any of the more than 60 games listed by Sega or getting delisted by Sega from Steam, Xbox and Nintendo Switch Store, and the PlayStation Store will have until 11:59 p.m. Pacific Time on December 26th. After that, for reasons Sega does not make explicit, they will be delisted and unavailable. Titles specific to Nintendo Switch Online expansion subscription will remain. So you do have until then, and I believe if you bought the games, you're still going to be able to download them.
Yeah, they're not revoking the
which I've
the
had
license
happen.
Or anything.
I had happen before, which pissed me off. On the PlayStation 3, I bought the X-Men arcade game and the Simpsons arcade game, and they delisted them and made them so I can't download them anymore.
Yeah, PS3 was really bad about that. That was why the Scott Pilgrim game coming to Steam a couple years ago was a huge deal.
Exactly.
Because it was trapped on PS3s, and the only way to play it was with a modded PS3.
And so here it says, as PC Gamer has suggested, which makes the most sense, it looks like Sega is getting ready to offer up new classics collections on their storefronts. Sega previously rearranged its store shelves to pull Sonic games from online stores and then offer up Sonic Origins. The title underwhelmed Ars at the time. This is from Ars Technica. And managed to pack in some DLC pitches. So yeah, they're figuring out a different way to sell the games that's not through Steam, which is their classics collection. So instead of being able to buy them individually, you'll have to buy like a pack of 5 or 10 games, I would imagine.
It's either that or because they essentially a while back what they're referring to, I think, with the Mega Drive and Genesis Classics thing, they literally are just selling an emulator with ROMs, and they'll probably do something like that where it'll be like the Sega Ages collection, and you'll be able to like buy ROMs piecemeal for like $2 each or something like that as DLC.
Yeah, some of the notable games here are Crazy Taxi, Jet Set Radio, Echo the Dolphin. Obviously, Echo the Dolphin is Crazy Fever Dream. I remember playing it as a kid. I had no idea what was going on. Space Channel 5 Part 2. You know, Space Channel 5 Space Channel 5 in general seems like a game that you would like. Have you ever played it?
I have seen it played, but I never played it myself. Even though, you're exactly right. It's basically just Parappa the Rapper, but with a very different coat of paint over it.
Yep. ToeJam and Earl Panic on Funkatron, which I really like.
I own the cartridge of that.
Oh, I love that game. It's dumb, but I love them. Yeah.
Are you sure?
I do.
Is it the correct one?
Possibly.
Because Panic on Funkatron
That's the second one. That's the second game. Yeah. I love both of them.
Yeah, the side-scrolling platformer.
Yep, I played that a lot on the Sega Channel when I was a kid.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because I found it to be substantially worse than the original.
It's not as good as the original.
That was my personal opinion.
Yeah, it's not as good as the original, but I still like Panic on Funkatron.
It was great, though. It was the third one.
But there was one on the Xbox. Is that the one you're talking about? There was
Yep.
also one that was going to be made for the Sega Dreamcast, and there was one released a few years ago by Macaulay Culkin on Steam. There's a new Toe Jam and Earl. It's in the
Also, I
guise
was
of the
joking.
first game.
Toe Jam and Earl 3 was not very well received
I know.
at all.
I know.
Okay.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I didn't know you're such a Toe Jam and Earl fanatic. Okay. Sorry.
I remember my neighbor had Toe Jam and Earl, the original, and that's when the first time I played Toe Jam and Earl, and then I played Toe Jam and Earl Panic on Funkatron on the Sega Sega channel when I was a kid. So yeah, I've liked it since I was a kid. I of course did not get any of the dirty humor back then, but now I do. We got Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine, Shining Force, Shining Force 2, Shining in the Darkness. All those are different games. Those are all getting released, and then Virtua Fighter 2 is all getting they're all getting delisted along with another like 50 or so other games. So if you want any of those Sega classics, you might want to go buy them now on Steam. I'm sure there's going to be a huge sale before they get delisted the day after Christmas. So,
It does mention that at least one of the games, Shining in the Darkness, is only 99 cents.
nice.
So, yeah.
I've never played the Shining Force games. I just never got around to it, but I think those games are supposed to be pretty good. But again, not games you would like because I think they have that tactical battle system that you're not a fan of.
Nope.
But yeah, so that sucks. Sega is delisting all those games, and we're gonna move on to another. Man, this is just not a good week for stories. GeForce Now to introduce monthly playtime limits, which is ridiculous. Lots of people are mad about this.
Wow, that's fucking nuts.
Did you not read this at all before?
No.
Okay.
No, I don't read.
Oh,
You
okay.
kidding me?
This is from Destructoid. Although known for mainly its wealth of graphics card, NVIDIA also has a cloud gaming service. Its GeForce Now subscription allows players to game online without having to have the PC jammed into powerful hardware. Much like OnLive did, which did so well. Something on the horizon which doesn't appear to be going well. According to a recent post in the NVIDIA blog, a monthly playtime limit is coming into effect at the start of 2025. It essentially caps cloud gaming through GeForce Now to 100 hours, unless you pay more money. The monthly allowance is to continue exceptional quality and speed, as well as other shorter queue times for performance and ultimate users. I don't know about the queue time. If you use GeForce Now, I know you tested a bunch of those services.
Yeah. I thought that it was one of the better options.
Certainly. Oh yeah, definitely. Like NVIDIA is going to be one of the better options for that. You're gonna get the best support and graphics cards available to you and all that jazz. So it's capping it at 100 hours, which a month, which I get, like that is a lot of time to play games. But also you have people playing games a lot longer than 100 hours. Like if you're playing Final Fantasy 14 or something, right? Like you're probably playing more than 100 hours a month. Or if you're me, that plays games like Metaphor, ReFantasia, which is a 100-hour game. And the problem with it is, in my opinion, the fact that they don't have limits and now they're putting limits on it. But the good news is you can buy more time. You can increase this limit by paying a little bit more money to the tune of $2.99 or $5.99 per month for performance or ultra users, respectively. So if you pay $3 in performance mode, you get more time. If you pay $6 in ultimate mode, you get more time. And I'm not sure what the difference is. I assume ultimate just has like a higher quality graphics
4K.
card. Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably something like that.
That would add on 15 hours onto the 100-hour cap. It can be rolled over to the next month, but only to a maximum of 115 hours, which includes the initial 100 you're already be getting. So you can have 115 hours, which is like, what, 3 hours a day or something like that?
I want to know
4 hours a day.
how much.
How much what?
Ultimate is $20 a month.
Okay.
Performance is $10 a month.
Okay.
And the difference is that with performance, you just get an RTX card. They don't tell you exactly which one, probably just whatever happens to be available in their data center.
Yeah. A 2060.
You're locked to,
yeah.
You max out at 1440p.
Okay. That's fair.
You can also only play for 6 hours at a time.
Well, okay, so you can play for 6 hours, log out, and then log back in. Yeah.
Yeah. And then Ultimate, you get a 4080. You get 16 CPU cores instead of 8 CPU cores. And you get 8-hour sessions. And you get DLSS 3 and NVIDIA Reflex and Cloud G-Sync, whatever the fuck that's supposed to be. Because you're streaming the game, so there shouldn't be anything. There should be no vertical sync problems.
Yeah.
And you get 240 FPS. I'm assuming you're stuck at 60 FPS on performance.
Probably.
And 4K, of course.
Of course. Yeah, I mean, that's actually, like, the price isn't bad. But having to
guess.
I mean, let's say you don't have the money for like a $3,000 computer.
Yeah.
Or you have like an allowance. You're like in high school or something and you don't have a job and you have like an allowance that's like $20 a month or $50 a month or something like that. Then you can do this and that's how you play games. I get
And then
it.
you also have to buy the games.
That's true. You do have to own the games on this service.
Or I guess you could pay for Game Pass.
Yep, you're $50 a month. That's where all your money goes.
It's Game Pass and GeForce Now.
Hey, whatever works, man. But then you only get 100 hours of gameplay now. So, which, I mean, yeah, they say that 94% of people aren't going to run into that cap, which is true. But what about those other 6% of people who do play games that much?
And that argument always. It's like, it's like, well, you know, vast majority of our users won't be affected, but the rest of you are going to make so much money off of you. Yeah. Oh, I can't wait to see how much money we make off of you. Like, fuck off. Unity did the same fucking thing whenever they were doing the install thing. They're going to charge for everything over a certain number of installs.
Yeah.
They were like, 99% of our customers aren't going to have any differences. And it's like, yeah, but the ones that are affected, like, you're going to bankrupt them.
Yeah.
Like,
well, and here's another thing about GeForce Now. That's cheap, right? Like, it's $10 and $20 a month. That's pretty cheap for what you're getting. Like, getting access to a 4080 or whatever for $20 a month. They're now raising these caps. They're saying, or they're putting on these caps saying you can only play for 100 hours a month, total 115 hours a month. They're going to raise prices in 6 months.
Yeah, how long until the performance tier is 15 a month and the ultimate tier is 25?
Yeah, 25 or 30.
Just like,
yeah,
just like with Game Pass.
Yeah, I love Game Pass. I still pay for it because for me, it's still a good deal because of how many games and how often I play games. But it's getting to the point where it's not reasonable for a lot of people. And it's better to just buy the games. But it's still, I think it's only like $20 a month for me, which isn't too bad. But I can see
it is a good deal if you are somebody who either blows through a lot of games or rarely completes games.
Yes. Yep. I
and
am.
and you were kind of in both boats, but definitely in the you burned through a lot of games.
I do. I burn through a lot of games. I don't because I stream.
Yeah.
I if I did not stream, I would play a lot more games than I beat. Because for some, even though nobody watches me, twitch.tv/Reeton, even though nobody watches me, if I start a game on stream that I want, that I'm saying like I'm gonna beat this game, then I feel compelled to beat it, rather than I'm gonna start this game. Oh, that was fun. Oh, ooh, something shiny, and I go play a different game. Uh, so it works for me, but yeah, I don't. Those GeForce Now, I'm with you. I don't like the argument of, it's not going to affect 94% of our players or whatever. I don't like that argument. But in their defense, most the time, most people aren't going to be playing 100 hours a month of video games.
No,
But
they're
then
not.
but then you get to like, oh, hey, I have 2 to 3 weeks off for Christmas vacation. Oh, hey, I have 3 months off for summer. And suddenly you're playing over 100 hours a month of video games, because that's what you do when you're on your time off. So then you run into that where people are, and then you're that person that 15-year-old's like, Mom, can I have $6 so I can play games for another 15 hours? Or can I have my phone bill? Google Fi has 3 different tiers. Before they only had the 1 tier, but then they added in the unlimited tiers. So they have the flexible tier, which is calling everything, calling and texting is unlimited, and then the data you have to pay for. And so for the flexible tier, you pay for your data. The unlimited tier, number 1, you get 35 gigs of data before it slows you down. And then with the upper tier of unlimited, you get 50 gigs of data. And most of the time, you don't use that much. Most of the time, most people aren't burning through 50 gigs of data on their phone. Unless you're my girlfriend. And she goes out and she'll like just take a ride in her car and then park in the middle of the woods and watch a video on Netflix. Just sit there watching movies on Netflix out in the wilderness and burning through 35 to 50 gigs of data. Or your internet at your house goes out for a month and then you burn through like 30 something gigs of data because you don't have any other way of consuming media. So yeah, things happen. And that's where this company, Nvidia, is going to be like, oh man, it looks like you had a lot more time to play video games this month. Give us more money. And very annoying indeed. But yeah, it's people are not happy about this, and I wonder if Nvidia is going to listen to them. And the answer is probably no.
Remember how like cool it was whenever you could like take video games home and
Nope.
play them, and you didn't have to keep putting quarters in.
Don't remember that.
No.
That was a long time ago, apparently. No, I remember renting video games. I remember.
And yeah, like
it's good
I
times.
like that. There was a time whenever like you just bought the game and then you could just play it.
Yep. Long time ago. And we still have the Blockbuster. We still have the one Blockbuster an hour away from my house. I went to it a couple weeks ago. It's still there. And you can't rent video games from there anymore. They stopped allowing you to rent video games, and they're making no money on rentals. Because I went over to the DVD rental section. It's like, rent 3 DVDs for 99 cents. I'm like, it's all merch. That's that's all you're making the money on.
Who the fuck? Who's gonna rent a DVD? Like,
there are a lot of old people that still actually go there to rent DVDs.
Yeah, but I mean that's like 0.001% of the population.
That's true. The majority
if Redbox couldn't stick around, then Blockbuster is not going to be able to live off of that.
We still have a functional Redbox in my town. Like,
is Is it like the one? Yeah, because there was a video I saw recently where you could go to the Redbox, you could rent shit, and it would just give you the DVDs and it wouldn't charge your card.
I have no idea. Shockingly enough, I don't use Redbox because who the fuck rents DVDs now?
Yeah,
So no, I haven't.
because they're
done that.
extremely bankrupt.
Yeah, they are. But then they also had an issue where they had the original Twisters. And they wouldn't allow you, like, you would go to rent a movie. You could rent any movie except for Twister from Redbox. At any Redbox location that's still working, you cannot rent Twister, or at the time you couldn't. And it would give it like an error message saying that it was unavailable, even though it was available. Really weird. Anywho,
A very weird specific bug.
yeah, it is. How do you like Windows upgrades?
I hate doing them.
You hate doing them? What about if they were just done automatically, without your knowledge?
Oh,
So, I mean, you wouldn't have to do them. It would just be done for you.
I guess that's okay.
Nope. Apparently this has happened to a lot of system admins recently,
Oh,
where Windows Server 2022 systems were automatically being upgraded to Windows 2025 just cuz. Just a bug. It says here, this is from Tom's Hardware. From the standpoint of a typical Windows user, upgrading from Windows 2022 to 2025 might sound like a great idea. This is Server 2022, obviously. But this type of behavior can turn into a nightmare for system administrators. Operating system upgrades for server-grade applications need to be vetted and tested by IT to ensure that any software, the associated business enterprise software running, blah, 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 basically make sure it doesn't break things.
but also the licensing.
Yep. I wonder if 2022 licensing just carries over to 2025.
It doesn't.
Oh, good. Fatboy40 on Reddit. I didn't know that you were on Reddit. Says that, I'm sorry, that was mean. Says that 3 days ago, all their clients' Windows 2022 servers had upgraded to Windows Server 2025 or were about to do so. The cherry on top is that this update was being pushed despite the fact that Server 2025 typically requires new licensing. There you go. Since 2025 is classified as an all-new version of Windows Server and not an update such as Windows 11 24H2. Oftentimes, like with consumer Windows, like they've got rid of, like when you went from XP to Vista, right? You had to buy a whole new license. They don't really do that anymore. Like if you're on Windows 10, you want to upgrade to Windows 11, it's upgraded.
You're supposed to buy a license for it. They just did it for free for everyone because they wanted to force everyone to stop using, because that started with 7
to 10,
into 10. They just wanted to force everybody onto 10.
Yeah.
And then they did the same thing with 11, where they were just like, look, yeah, you can upgrade to 11 if you can.
Exactly.
And then they changed the requirements and all that.
Yeah.
But yeah, server was totally different.
Yeah, server is totally different. Like if you upgrade a version of like 2022 to 2025, or what was the one before that? Was 2018 to 2022, 2019, something like that.
Maybe.
That you're required to buy a new license. That's how they make their money. They don't really make their money off of consumers. They make their money off of servers usually. But it seems the update accidentally classified by Microsoft as both an optional update and a security update for Windows Server 2022 machines, according to an employee of a third-party update service named Heimdall. Our team discovered this discrepancy in our patching repository, as the GUID for Windows Server 2025 upgrade does not match the usual entries associated with Windows 11. It appears to be an error in Microsoft's side, affecting the speed of release and the classification of the update. After cross-checking with Microsoft's KB repository, we did confirm that the KB number indeed references Windows 11, not Windows Server 2025. So basically, because it's listed as a security update for Server 2022, they're like, oh, we install security updates, and then they update and it upgrades to 2025. And I spoke to my system admin and was like, hey, did we run into this? And no, none of our systems ran into this. But I just thought it was really funny. Just how awful sometimes things can be. Have you ever had a Windows update break things? Like, not personally, but I mean on, like, at work. Has you ever had a Windows update just, like, break a program or something like that?
So actually we have a couple of really old applications that we use. And there are certain KBs that we have to, so we have to have our own Windows Server update server
WSUS,
specifically for these like 4 servers.
Mm-hmm.
They are different from every other server in the company because there's software running on them that will just not work with certain KBs.
Yep.
And it's just easier for us to manage our own WSUS.
When I was at my first IT job, well, second IT job, I guess, technically, but when I was at my IT job there, we used SAP, which I hate. And there was an update, Windows update got pushed to all the computers, and it did not break SAP, but it broke a program within SAP. And so somebody had to go to all of the computers that had SAP installed. And, well, first off, we had to figure out which update broke it. And then once we found out which update broke it, somebody, me, had to go to every single computer that had SAP installed and uninstall that update and then make it so that Windows would not install that update after that. Because we did not have a WSUS server. Or WSUS. Yeah, it was a pain in the butt. So, that it breaks things sometimes, and then you have to go and uninstall it on like 30 machines. It's great. It's wonderful. Also, SAP just sucks.
It does.
Updating SAP, at least 10 years ago. Might be better now, but probably not.
No.
You had to go through, so like you would not have just SAP, but then SAP also has a bunch of add-ons that you can buy.
Mm-hmm.
And in order to upgrade to the new version of SAP that we were doing, I had to go through, uninstall each add-on individually, uninstall SAP, install SAP, and then install each add-on individually. Pain in the butt. And that's how I paid for Rock Band 4. Because that was my overtime. So I worked 10 hours of overtime and was able to buy Rock Band 4 with that. So that's a little story there. And then our last story of the day is I actually agree with Nintendo on this one. I know it's bad, but I agree with Nintendo on them suing this person. Nintendo is suing a streamer who pirated software for millions of dollars. And we should all know on this podcast, we support piracy. But this is dumb. This guy was just being dumb. This is from Engadget. It said Nintendo has filed a lawsuit against a streamer called Every Game Guru, whom is accused of streaming gameplays of pirated games before they were released and providing viewers access to illegal ROM copies and piracy tools. Don't do that. In the lawsuit, the company said the defendant live streams himself playing on YouTube, Discord, Twitch, TikTok, Trovo, Kick, Vaughn, DLive, Picarto, Nemo, Facebook, and Loco.
I don't even know what most of those are.
I know. I know what most of them are. Like, I know what YouTube is, Discord, Twitch, TikTok.
The fuck is Moco?
I don't know what Loco. Loco. Still don't
I don't
know.
know what the fuck that is. No.
And then Nemo, Picarto, Vaughn. I don't know what these are. But often he did it with very little commentary. Apparently, every Game Guru streamed gameplays of at least 10 different titles before their official release date in 50 occasions since 2022. Allegedly, he has streamed Mario and Luigi Brothership on October 22nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 29th before the release date on November 7th. After Nintendo got the videos taken down from various platforms, including YouTube, he continued live streaming on Loco and even included a QR code for his Cash App handle. Awesome.
Well,
he would also create accounts after his old ones would get disabled, and Nintendo said he sent the company an email telling it that he has 1,000 burner channels and that he can do this all day. Don't fucking poke the bear. What the fuck is wrong with you? Like, Nintendo is notoriously litigious. And you're like, oh yeah, bet you won't fucking sue me. Yes, they will.
They got you.
Yeah.
They called you bluff, bruh.
That's so... Don't, what the fuck? And it said we found the user with the same name on Loco with streams of Super Mario Jamboree before it became available on October 17th of this year. The other games that he has streamed apparently are Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom. Don't even know what that is. Paper Mario Thousand Year Door, Mario vs. Donkey Kong, Super Mario RPG, Super Mario Brothers Wonder, Pikmin 4, Splatoon 3, and Mario Strikers Battle League. All these games were streamed before their official release date. Nintendo has included screenshots of every Game Guru linking people to piracy tools in the lawsuit. Yeah, we support piracy. We won't tell you how to do it. You could figure that out yourself.
Ain't fucking stupid.
Yeah. One screenshot showed a post wherein he wrote a step-by-step guide how to play illegally downloaded ROMs. He included links to the Ryujinx, Yuzu, Suyu, and Sudachi Nintendo Switch emulators, links to websites that distribute game ROMs, and a link to a website where people can get Switch decryption keys necessary to be able to play the games. I mean, he does say capitalism and cancer, so I agree with him on that. And then he said, my channel is being deleted for sharing gameplay videos. This is your reward. I mean, yes, and your gameplay videos of games that were not released yet.
They weren't out yet. You're ostensibly breaching copyright law.
Yeah.
Like,
it says Nintendo is asking for $150,000 per violation in at least 50 different occasions, which is a lot of money. So
yeah, that's dumb.
Like, it's dumb, but I get, like again, I agree with Nintendo on this, that they are totally in the right on this one.
Yeah, and they always ask for way more money than they expect to get.
And then there's going to be a settlement or something, and that's just, like, I understand his side of it, like capitalism is cancer, but on the other hand, like, don't do stupid things. Like, even if you're gonna pirate,
don't be dumb.
Even if you're gonna pirate the game, wait until the game's actually released to play it on your gameplay channel.
Yeah, like I played fucking Tears of the Kingdom before it came out.
Yeah,
like,
but you didn't
stream it on Twitch.
No, because you're not stupid.
Yeah.
I did that, like, the one time I violated an NDA was I played Terra on stream before it was, like, when I was in the beta, and it was you can't stream this beta, and I didn't get caught. With that being said, that's still different than pirating a Super Mario Brothers game and playing that on your gameplay channel on fucking Loco, which I'm looking up right now. Game Loco stream. that it? Free online gaming, live streaming, and esports channel is what it is.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it looks like a live streaming thing. Where people
Sounds like some old bullshit.
have you seen it? Have you been looking at this? It looks like it's geared mainly towards Latinos. At least from the front page, there's a lot of Latino creators on the front page.
I guess that would make sense with it being called Loco.
Yeah. What is Vaughn? That's the one I'm looking at. Like, that's just somebody's
Vaughn,
name.
Vaughn I haven't heard of. I search it. My top result is Vince Vaughn.
Live stream your life. Oh, it's like a Justin TV thing.
Possibly the greatest live streaming website on the internet.
We are obsessed with live streaming.
5 live channels.
Scroll down to the VIP.
Okay, here we go.
Scroll down to the VIP. Do you see the second one? I don't know if it's the same on yours, but do you see the second one there?
ATP show?
Yeah.
What is even going on?
And then if you look down the second, the fourth one on the second, they're doing some Memphis wrestling there. You can tell that's Memphis.
ATP show is doing like React content.
Yeah.
And really badly too. This is,
I bet. And then they're doing some Memphis wrestling watching. I think that some of this is probably copywritten.
Yeah, this is definitely 1996 to 2012. All promotions, copyright OG Family Zone.
Yeah. So this is
XP ported. Ah, yes. It's definitely very legal stream of November to Remember 96.avi.
Oh, good. Is that's a ECW pay-per-view?
It's a wrestling show.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's ECW.
I don't know. There's a guy in a leather jacket and a leather like greaser cap who's definitely cutting a promo right now against they're about somebody.
I'm not seeing that one, but I think it's ECW probably.
The comments are saying Hogan wishes he could sing this well.
Who's singing?
I guess maybe he was like rapping or something.
I need to see this. Give me a link. Give me a link for this so that I can react to it.
I'm putting it. There you go.
Again, I'm sorry, this is probably not compelling.
Oh, I see an ECW shirt in the audience.
Oh yeah, that's definitely ECW. Look at that. Look at that terrible quality there. I have it all muted. That's Taz. That's Taz and
yeah, he's like Kid Rock rapping.
That makes sense. And then I think that's what his name is, Vaughn's? He was a referee and then he became a manager. There's Paul Heyman. Yeah. That's ECW. Anyway, so Vaughn, don't go there. Fucking all sorts of pirated content there. Yeah. Every video.
This has got this does have Justin.tv sort of vibe going on.
It does. Every game guru getting sued by Nintendo, and in my opinion, for once, rightfully so, because he definitely violated their copyright hard. And that's all the news stories we have. Don't go to Vaughn Live. Just stick with Twitch or YouTube.
Oh no! Oh wait,
what?
I've been on Picarto.
Have you been on Picarto?
They're an art streaming site primarily.
Oh, interesting. Well, apparently so did Every Game Guru, and then he said that he has thousands of burner accounts. Dumbass. That's what he is. Thank you for being here, Aroa.
Yeah, no problem.
We will be back next week talking about more video game and tech news. Goodbye.
Bye.